Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we've got something a little bit different than a Famiclone. Today we've got a Mega Drive clone instead. This is the Mega Drive X. That was, I think it was created in China, but it was for a Russian company called Simba. And it follows very closely, as you'll see, to the design of the Mega Drive 3 found in Brazil. This version is one of many. This has, as you can see, Pokemon imagery. I can't read any of the writing because it's all in Russian. It says Pokemon images on it. There are other ones which are just plain like the front. And then there are other versions which include built-in games as well, which this one doesn't. If we open it up, we'll see the console. Now usually you will get two pads with this. I bought this second hand and it only came with one pad. Plug the wires and move the box out of the way. We'll see the console. It's quite nice, as I say. If you've seen the Mega Drive 3 that was available in Brazil, I'll put a picture up there. You'll see it's very close in design. It comes with the AV out as seen on the Mega Drive 2, and you've got your power switch there. What makes this one really interesting is the fact that we've got a series of switches on the bottom here. Now we've got, this is an overclock switch which changes between 8 MHz and 10 MHz. This is your 50 to 60 Hz switches for NTSC or PAL frame rate, and then these 4 switches here select between the region, and they will also select, because some games include different language or different options like blood and things built into the game, which will automatically select dependent on the region of Mega Drive you're playing on. Well, that switch will let you select between all those different things, and it will change the language and stuff automatically. So it's a really nice addition. The controls follow the Mega Drive pads, the 6-button pads. These are smaller, they're quite nice, quite sturdy, and they are quite responsive. I've read reports on websites saying that there is a delay, a lag between the response of the pads, but I haven't found that with this one at all, so it might be with earlier versions. I think this one is from 2010. I think the last model they did was a 2012 model, but we'll find out what year it is hopefully when we open up the board. But yeah, the pads are quite nice. We get a manual, which is sadly just completely in Russian. And then we get our power supply and the TV lead. Now, this power supply probably wasn't the original one that came with it. I do believe they come with a Russian power supply. I'm not sure what the pin out is on a Russian plug, but they do work with the normal. It's a 12 volt, no, 9 volt, sorry, 9 volt adapter. And then we have our TV lead. So we get it opened up, and then we'll talk about the performance more and stuff like that. Right, then if we take off the lid of the console, everything is screwed with just 4 screws on the bottom. If we take it off, being careful because the LED is glued to the top. And if we expose the board, we can see it looks very similar to a lot of NOAC's Famiclones out there. They call this one a GOAC, which stands for Genesis on a chip, instead of Nintendo on a chip. And everything is based off this TCT 6801 chip here, which runs the processing and the sound. And then if you can see here, this will be overclock switch, which, as you'll see, I'll get a close-up, as you'll see that this first section isn't soldered in at all, and that's because the TCT 6801 is just doing its standard job. But when you flick it across, it will change the overclock speed of the system. We then have our language switch here, and then next to it there is where our region switch is, 50 to 60 Hz. Other than that, not a lot to report, other than there are a few extra connections here coming off. Some of them have come off to go into the video output, but it seems there are a few extra connections here, which I'll try and find out what they do. They might be an expansion port like on the original Mega Drive, or they could just be a controller pinouts in case they hadn't used this. This could have been used in other clones. As for the date we can see there, I'll get a zoom in. The date we can see for this is 2009 on the 5th of the 5th, and this is the revision 1.0. So as I said, yeah, some of the models, people saying that there's lag between the responsiveness, but I haven't found that with this model. But I haven't tested every game. Now this, because it's a TCT 6801 chip, it shouldn't be compatible with Virtual Racer. But because of the other language switches, I'm not sure. So I am going to test that myself. If it doesn't work, there is a mod we can do which will make Virtual Racer run on this. It's not as easy as some of the other clone mods out there, but it is relatively easy. So if anybody would like me to do that, if it doesn't work, if Virtual Racing doesn't work, if anybody would like me to do the mod, a video of the mod, then leave a comment down below and I'll get that done. It's no problem. Yeah, other than that, there's not really a lot to report. We've got our on-off switch, a reset switch, and a bit of a heat sink here. Yeah, other than that, it's a nicely made little clone. Performs really well, and I'll get some gameplay footage up if I can. But the problem is with this is because it runs via composite video, my recorder won't record the sound at a suitable level, and it skips frames, sound bites, and when you play it back it sounds terrible. Now the sound on this is really nice, especially when you mess with the switches. I mean, this is the setting that I keep it at most of the time, unless I've got it set to Japan there, but if the game displays in Japan I'll change that, but usually that's the way that I will keep it, because I find that it's best. You get extra sound and things like that. But yeah, due to the way that my recorder my recorder records the audio, I won't do any sound tests of this, because it just won't do it justice. In fact, the way my recorder records, that's a bloody mouthful. The way my recorder records audio, it sounds on par to the AT games, Mega Drive clones out there, which are just terrible for the sound. Now this is really nice sounding, so if I recorded it at the moment, it's just not going to do it justice. You're going to think it sounds horrible, where it really doesn't. I do have another recorder which will record the audio perfectly, but it's been in storage for a while, so I'll have to get that out and get it all set up, and then I'll get some footage done of that, and I'll test out Virtual Racer in a moment as well. But yeah, it shouldn't work because it's the TCT 6801. But as I say, we can get a fix for that. But overall, this is it's my favourite Mega Drive clone, other than the Scorpion, but the Scorpion is a hardware clone. This is a GOAC, and this is probably the best one you're going to find. The AT Games ones, although they're an official product, they're terrible. The sound is horrible, and there's a noticeable difference in the frame rate as well at times. But this one, as you say, you've got all your switches on the bottom to change things if you do get any differences. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but it is, as far as a clone goes, it is the best one you're going to get. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm going to get this all put back together now, and then decide what we're going to do for the next one. I think we'll go back to Famiclone, but I've got quite a lot of plug and plays that I think I might get done next. That'll be short videos, so I can do 2 or 3 at once and release those at once. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you within the next week with the next clone teardown video. Thanks for watching.